Hi everyone, I'm Steven and today I'm making a Santa hat out of cardboard and paper. Let's jump right into it. So I started off by taking a paper shopping bag out of the recycling bin. Mine had paper handles on it, so I carefully peeled them off and then I cut off the bottom of the bag, and that's the part of the bag that allows it to stand up when it's filled up. So I laid this paper bag flat and then I marked where the midpoint was on it. It was exactly 6 inches on this particular bag. I drew a big triangle from one corner to that midpoint and then from the other corner to that midpoint. My ruler wasn't long enough to reach, so I just used a cardboard scrap to help me draw a straight line. I cut that out and trimmed away all of these extra hanging bits in order to get 2 flat triangles. I flipped them over to make sure that the graphics were facing up toward me and laid them next to each other before taping the 2 sides together with some masking tape. Then the other sides were just gently folded inward and then taped together. If you make this, just keep the tape on the inside of this paper cone, and yeah, you're left with a paper cone. After that, I taped strips of cereal box cardboard together to fit my head kind of like it was a headband, and I pushed that off to the side for a second, brought the paper cone back, and painted the cone in 2 coats of red craft paint on both sides. I then pushed that off to the side to let it dry, and moved on to making the faux fur for the Santa hat. To make this fake fur, I took a sheet of computer paper, folded it into thirds, and cut those strips out, folded each one of those strips in half again, and then stacked them together. I added a little bit of glue to hold them together, and grabbed my scissors to start cutting fringe into these strips. If you make this, try to keep your cuts super close together. Once fluffed up, the paper gives you the illusion of fake fur and it looks pretty cool. Just make a lot of these strips because you're going to need probably, I would say, between 12 and 15 to do this entire hat. So it was time to glue it all together. To glue the headband onto the cone, I just removed some of the tape from the headband so it laid flat and it was just a long flat strip again, and hot glued the cone right onto it before retaping the ends of the headband in order to make the circle again, and that just makes the hat. I grabbed all those paper fringe strips and started gluing pieces of them onto the cardboard headband. I either ripped or cut the fringe strips to make them all fit nice and neat, and they were glued very, very close together. When I built up a thick enough paper fur ring, I cut off the extra cardboard and then just added some more extra fringe to cover up any of the remaining cardboard and make it look like one cohesive fur piece. With that done, this paper Santa hat was looking a little stiff, so I gently crumpled the red cone with my hands, and this just gives it a little bit more texture, obviously because it's crumpled, but also helps make it move a little bit more as if it were fabric or something like that. So then it was time for the pom-pom. I took 2 cuttings from a toilet paper roll, slid them into a cross, and taped them together, and then taped around until I got a ball. But I could have easily have used strips of cereal box cardboard, a foil ball, or even made a paper ball out of scrap paper, so don't get discouraged if you don't have a toilet paper roll lying around. You could just make a tiny little ball. I glued that tiny little ball onto the tip of the cone, and then it was time for more fringe, and finally the fluffing. But you're going to see all that in a few seconds with the finished product. So there you have it, a Santa hat made from a paper shopping bag, cereal box, and computer paper. I know this is a little different than my usual video topics, but technically Santa is a mutant in Marvel Comics, so I figured it's still allowed. I think this DIY Santa hat looks really cool. It's a little stiff, but it's still pretty comfortable when it's being worn, and the paper fur is pretty convincing. It's just fun and festive overall. Anyway, I hope you guys liked it, and if you did, please subscribe and like this video, and please share it with your friends. I'll catch you on the next one. Merry Christmas, everyone. Bye-bye.